What's going on, everybody? My name is Steven. You're watching the Air Gun channel. This is going to be a quick first part of this video here, and I want to try to talk about something a little bit scientific here with air guns specifically. So I've seen very few videos done on what I want to try and attempt to do here today, which is finding out, is there really any difference when shooting air guns at different elevations? Now, is that even a big deal? Is that anything that the everyday shooter needs to really worry about? Well, yeah, absolutely. If you are really into air gunning, you'll find out that trajectory with these things has to be down to a T. Everything has to be in line for these things to be running properly. The big difference between air guns and firearms, really with me, is air guns are so much more precise. There's a lot more harmonic balancing going on. So I just want to kind of break this thing down a little bit to find out if we can get to the bottom of it and find out, does it really make a difference? Is it a slight difference or is it a large difference? That's really what I want to see firsthand and give you guys right here. So what's going to happen is we are currently in Boone, North Carolina. Our elevation is 3,331 feet as of where I stand right now. So what we are going to do, we're going to shoot a couple different air guns that I have here with us today. We have PCP, we have CO2, and we have gas ram, which are the three that I want to really put through the test here. I do not have spring powered air gun that I want to try for this test. I just want to go with the gas ram. Maybe down the road we may try with the spring powered piston type air guns and see if that has any variables with it, but for now we're going to stick with these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot here at Boone, North Carolina, and then I'm going to be driving all the way to the coast to Wilmington, North Carolina, my hometown, and we're going to shoot there as well at a friend's property, and we're gonna find out what's the haggle over here, you know, if it makes a big difference or not. So I'm going to get right into it, and here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to start off with our PCP air gun, and we're going to be using the Webley Nemesis and 177 caliber, and this is my PCP converted pistol. It was a CO2 gun, and it's no longer the case. It is a bolt action multi-shot. It has a little magazine in it here, air pistol. So I have the chronograph up here. I'm gonna get you all face this way here, and hopefully you'll see some numbers here. I'll call them out as we go. We're gonna be shooting, oh, and by the way, get some more information out there for you all. So our elevation is 3,331 feet, and our current barometric pressure right now is 29.98 inches per bar. Let's see, nothing else really pertaining here. The weather, the temperature. Currently right now it's like 73 degrees where I will be going. I picked this time because the weather's actually going to be cooler down on the coast, so it's only going to be a high of 80 there. It's going to be only a high of like 76 today here, so a little bit of a temperature difference, but I think we'll see some good results. And we're going to be shooting out of the PCP air gun, filled up at 1900 psi, even as close as I can get it on that gauge there. We're going to be shooting FX 10.3 grain pellets. Let's go ahead and get us some through the chronograph, get you some numbers here. Oh, and I'm going to also make sure I turn my power adjuster back up on this here, since I did a video last and we were just all right, here we go. It's 543, 538, 551, 544, 534, 528, 507, I believe that was it. That's gonna finish us out there. This is with our PCP air gun. So now we're gonna take these numbers here, and the real goal is gonna be to shoot when we get down to lower elevation, to shoot at lower elevation and see how much these numbers are actually gonna change. Now moving on, we're gonna be using the Smith & Wesson M&P 40 replica. This is a BB pistol, CO2. So we're going to just shoot us a couple rounds over here and find out what's happening. Fresh, brand new capsule of CO2. 378, 378, 378, 370, 371, 377, 377, 375, 373, 376, 376, 375, 375, 368, 378, 371, 373, 370, 371, 365. That's it. Alright, down to 365 to finish out. Empty magazine. When we get down to the coast, we will new capsule of CO2, fresh BBs and everything, and we'll run it the same way. And for this part of the test here with the gas ram, we are going to be using my custom Benjamin Trail Mark II. This is the NP NP Trail Mark II, and it is a brake barrel gas piston. It's carbine. This is a little custom piece I've had for a long time now. I actually have a couple of them I've done just like this here. And we're going to be shooting the Crossman 7.9 grain pellets here. And we're just going to run us a few over the chronograph. And we'll go down and get our results when we get down to the coast. That's 453. 472. 498. 489. 488. 490. We'll do one more here. 484. All right. Again, this is just going to be gathering some numbers here so that we can take everything and do it exactly the same when we get down there to Wilmington, to the coast here, and we can compare our results once we get back, because ultimately that's going to be the big finding. There is going to be a huge difference in air when we get down to a lower pressure as compared to shooting up here in higher elevation. Or is it going to be the same relatively? Is it even going to make much of a difference? Well, we're going to find out. So I'm going to get everything packed up. Got to finish getting myself ready. Head out the door. I got a long ride. It's a 5-hour ride. It's not terrible, but 5-hour ride ahead of me. So, well, this will wrap up the first part of it, guys. And yeah, that'll do it. All right, everybody. Welcome to the beautiful coast of Wilmington, North Carolina. And we're going to compare these numbers here to the numbers that we have from shooting up in the mountains. We're going to be using the same pistols, the same rifle, same ammunition, and we're going to shoot some of these numbers over the chronograph. So let's go ahead and start with our Pcp Air Gun. We're filled up to the exact same thing as we were up there, and we are at 1900 psi. We're shooting the FX 10.3 grain pellets. Let's go ahead and get us some numbers here. All right, first shot. 507. 532. 547. 551. 539. 527. For our final shot. 526. All right, so we're empty. All right, now let's grab us this CO2 pistol. Okay, so we have the same CO2 pistol. This is the M&P Smith & Wesson non-blowback, and we are shooting the exact same steel Crossman copper-coated BBs out of this with a fresh, brand new capsule of CO2. Let's go ahead and interested to see how the CO2 is going to react to the atmospheric pressure change. 383, 382, 381, 383, 385, 388, 387, 391, 391, 391, 388, 391, 391, 386, 387, 386, 385, 383, 382, 381, and that's it. All right, so now we're gonna shoot us across we're gonna be using this here pistol again, carbine rather. This is the Benjamin Trail MP Mark II break barrel, and we are again shooting the Crossman 7.9 grain pellets, 488. .528. 525. 527. 519. 520. All right. So let's do this. Let's take these numbers here that we got. Let's go somewhere nicer and let's go have a talk about them. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to beautiful Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, where we're going to have a little talk about our numbers here. So first I wanted to start by reading a little bit of an article that was posted by Gunworks, and this was posted May 18th, 2021, and it's the effects of temperature and altitude and long-range shooting. The reason why I want to talk about this is because specifically pertaining to our video, what we want to find out is our differences in shooting and altitude, and does this with air guns affect filling and releasing air when shooting air guns. And so we're going to talk about some numbers real quick, and I'll leave the numbers right up here for you all to take a look at so that you can decipher for yourself any differences or any commonality between the numbers there. So I'm going to start by just reading a little bit right here off of their article. It says temperature and altitude are related in that they both affect air density, therefore the ballistic performance of a projectile. So understanding that when shooting air guns is relevant. To what extent though? So let's talk about these numbers and find out what our differences in here. So when we shot our Webley Nemesis, one thing that I will notice is that we shot starting out at the low 500, 507, 532, 547, 551. Our numbers changed a little bit, that they actually kind of decreased and stayed a little steady. So in the coast, they were a little more fluctuating up and down. They weren't quite together and as consistent. When we were actually at higher altitudes in the mountain, our elevation in the mountains is 3,331 feet, where we were filming our first part of our video at. We are at 34 feet elevation here in Wilmington, North Carolina, where we did our other shoot at. So we'll leave these numbers here for you so that you can compare these numbers with the Webley. That's our PCP air gun. Now the big difference really that I seen was with shooting CO2 air guns. So if we move over here and take a look at these numbers for our CO2 air gun shooting, we'll notice that the numbers starting in the mountains were actually in the 370 range. But when we went down elevation, they actually climbed and went right into like the mid 380 range. So we did see a little bit of a variation there as far as shooting with our CO2 compared to shooting with our PCP air gun. And if we look at our results coming from our Benjamin Mark II, which is our ram gas air rifle, and we'll notice that we were shooting in the mountains 453, 472, 498, and then we come down to the coast and our velocities actually changed and went 488, 528, 525, 527, 519 and up. So they did actually change coming down as compared to being up. So Some very interesting results. Definitely looking into the CO2 method of air guns seems to have the greater effect with altitudes as compared to shooting at a lower elevation to shooting at a higher elevation. There obviously does seem to be some effect there. As well with the ram gas piston type air guns, there is a difference there in shooting at lower elevations to higher elevations. So with these findings, I'll let you all brew over the numbers. I'll let you kind of take a look at the differences here and decide for yourselves what it is that, you know, the conclusion that you'll ultimately come to. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you'll take this little bit of information that I'm giving to you here, what little bit that I am able to produce for you. You can take these numbers and do with them as you will. But I just wanted to share some beautiful scenery with you, get you guys to come along with me while we try to answer more air gun questions and try to gain more knowledge into the world of air guns. So I want to say on that note, enjoy this beautiful scenery. I'm going to get back to my vacationing. I want to say thanks. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you like my videos. Make sure you subscribe to follow me for more. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.